Breaking news. The Supreme Court has just issued a historic 6-3 ruling that changes everything for gun owners across the United States. All firearm permits are now ended, and if you own a gun, or even plan to, you need to know the 10 critical rules that will keep you safe and legal under this new law. In this video, we're breaking it all down for you. What this ruling means, how it affects your rights, and the exact steps you must take immediately. Don't scroll past. This is information every gun owner must hear. The moment this decision was announced, social media erupted, news outlets scrambled to cover the story, and gun owners across the United States were left with one overwhelming question: what now? For decades, firearm permits have been a cornerstone of legal gun ownership. They were a system designed to regulate who could carry a weapon, under what circumstances, and how it could be transported. With this ruling, that system has been completely upended. Experts are calling this one of the most significant shifts in Second Amendment law in decades. The decision has already prompted heated discussions among legal analysts, law enforcement agencies, policymakers, and everyday citizens. Gun owners who were used to a structured permit process now face a world where their rights have expanded, but their responsibilities have increased exponentially. Ignorance or lack of preparation could lead to unintended violations of state or federal laws which may carry serious consequences. So, what exactly did the Supreme Court decide, and why does it matter so much? The 6-3 ruling asserts that the government cannot require permits for lawful gun owners. This effectively eliminates a long-standing layer of regulation in every state, disrupting decades of legal precedent. Any laws tied specifically to permit requirements, such as background checks conducted at the time of obtaining a permit, training requirements mandated for permit holders, or local regulations limiting who can carry, may now be invalid or require immediate adjustment. The 6 justices who supported the ruling emphasized the fundamental right to bear arms as a constitutional guarantee that cannot be restricted by permit mandates. The 3 dissenting justices warned of the potential dangers this could create, including an increase in gun violence, lack of accountability, and challenges for law enforcement in maintaining public safety. The debate is complex, but one thing is clear. The legal landscape for firearms has changed overnight. Before diving into the 10 rules every owner must follow, it is crucial to understand why this ruling matters beyond the headlines. Gun permits were never merely bureaucratic paperwork. They were a system meant to ensure that those carrying firearms were legally eligible, had received some form of safety training, and understood the responsibility that comes with owning a deadly weapon. With permits gone, there's a new level of personal accountability placed directly on the shoulders of gun owners. You are now fully responsible for knowing the law, exercising safe practices, and ensuring that your firearms are never misused or mishandled. This is not a time for confusion or guesswork. Clarity, preparation, and vigilance are now paramount. Rule number 1. Know your state laws. While the Supreme Court has eliminated the federal requirement for permits, states retain the authority to regulate firearms in other ways. This includes regulations on age limits, storage requirements, carrying restrictions, and certain local ordinances. Ignorance of state law is no longer a viable excuse, and law enforcement agencies have already indicated that they will enforce compliance rigorously. Gun owners must take the initiative to fully understand what is legal in their area. This may involve reviewing state statutes, consulting legal experts, or attending informational sessions offered by gun advocacy organizations. Understanding your local legal framework is the first step in responsible ownership under this new reality. Rule number 2. Always store your firearms safely. Safe storage has never been more important. This includes locking firearms in secure cabinets, using trigger locks, and keeping ammunition separate from the weapon. Accidental shootings, particularly those involving children or unauthorized individuals, are a major concern. Without a permit system to vet and educate owners, the responsibility for safety now rests solely with the individual. Improper storage could lead to criminal liability, civil lawsuits, or both. Experts recommend establishing clear safety protocols within your household, educating family members about firearm risks, and using technology, such as biometric safes, to ensure that your guns remain secure at all times. Rule number 3. Understand your transport rules. Even though permits have been removed, there are still legal restrictions on where and how firearms can be carried. Schools, government buildings, private properties with posted restrictions, and other designated areas remain off limits. Failing to adhere to these rules could result in severe legal consequences. Gun owners need to be proactive about learning the boundaries of lawful transport in their state and ensure compliance at all times. This includes understanding vehicle transport regulations, open carry versus concealed carry rules, and the nuances of crossing state lines with firearms. Rule number 4. Know who cannot possess a firearm. The Supreme Court ruling does not change existing federal laws that prevent certain groups from owning firearms. Individuals with felony convictions, restraining orders, specific mental health adjudications, or other restrictions are still prohibited from possession. This is not optional, and violating these laws can lead to severe criminal penalties, including imprisonment. Gun owners must be vigilant about who has access to their firearms and ensure that restricted individuals are never allowed to handle or possess them under any circumstances. Rule number 5. Maintain proper firearm training. Even without permits, training is essential. Responsible gun ownership requires understanding firearm mechanics, safe handling practices, and effective defensive techniques. Accidental discharges, unsafe handling, and poor marksmanship can lead to tragic consequences. Consider enrolling in firearm safety courses, self-defense training programs, or continuing education opportunities to hone your skills. Knowledge and preparedness are now the primary tools for staying safe and legal in this new environment. Rule number 6. Keep documentation of your firearm purchases. Even though permits are no longer required, maintaining accurate records of ownership is critical. Documentation proves that your firearms were acquired legally and can serve as a defense in situations where legality is questioned. Store purchase receipts, bills of sale, and any registration documents securely, and make copies if needed. This simple practice can prevent unnecessary legal complications and provide peace of mind in an era of changing regulations. Rule number 7. Be aware of federal restrictions. While permits have been eliminated, federal law still regulates specific categories of firearms. Automatic weapons, short-barreled rifles, and certain handguns remain subject to strict federal controls. Violating these rules can result in severe criminal charges. Gun owners must exercise caution and ensure that any firearm they own, transport, or transfer complies fully with federal regulations. This is particularly critical for collectors, enthusiasts, or individuals who purchase specialized firearms for sport or defense. Rule number 8. Respect private property rights. The removal of permits does not grant blanket permission to carry firearms everywhere. Private businesses, stores, and residences can legally prohibit guns on their property. Gun owners must respect these rules at all times. Ignoring posted restrictions or property owner requests could lead to trespassing charges, civil liability, or confrontations with law enforcement. Responsible owners will plan ahead, check property rules, and seek permission where necessary before carrying a firearm onto private property. Rule number 9. Understand the use of force laws. With increased access to firearms, understanding the legal boundaries of self-defense is more important than ever. Laws governing the use of deadly force vary by state, and misuse can result in criminal charges or civil lawsuits. Owners must educate themselves about when and how a firearm may be used for protection, taking care to comply fully with legal standards. Self-defense is not simply a matter of personal safety. It is also a matter of legal accountability. Being informed about the law is a crucial step in protecting yourself, your family, and your community. Rule number 10. Stay informed. This ruling is historic, but it does not mean the legal landscape is static. States are already proposing new legislation to address gaps created by the removal of permits. Gun owners must actively monitor local, state, and federal developments to ensure compliance. This involves following reputable news sources, consulting legal experts, joining advocacy groups, and participating in educational opportunities. Staying informed is no longer optional. It is an essential responsibility for anyone who owns a firearm. The consequences of failing to stay up to date could be severe, both legally and personally. This Supreme Court ruling is more than just a change in paperwork. It is a shift in responsibility, legal awareness, and personal accountability. For some, it represents a victory for constitutional rights and individual freedom. For others, it raises concerns about public safety, regulatory oversight, and the potential for misuse. Regardless of your perspective, the reality is that gun owners must now step up and fully embrace the responsibilities that come with this expanded freedom. Ignoring the rules, neglecting safety, or failing to understand the law could result in dire consequences. As we reflect on this historic decision, it is important to recognize that it marks a turning point for gun ownership in America. Whether you are a seasoned firearm owner or considering purchasing your first weapon, the landscape has shifted dramatically. Being proactive, informed, and responsible is now more important than ever. Following the 10 rules outlined here will not only help you comply with the law, but it will also ensure that you exercise your rights safely and ethically. The Supreme Court's 6-3 decision will continue to shape the national conversation on firearms for years to come. Legal experts predict that additional legislation, court cases, and policy adjustments will emerge as states adapt to this ruling. Gun owners must remain vigilant, adaptable, and informed in order to navigate the complexities of this new era. Every decision you make regarding your firearms, from storage and training to transport and use, carries heightened responsibility and significance. In conclusion, this ruling is about more than just permits. It is about personal accountability, legal knowledge, and the ethical exercise of your Second Amendment rights. Gun owners now face a world where freedom comes with heightened responsibility. Following the 10 rules we've outlined, knowing your state laws, storing firearms safely, understanding transport rules, recognizing who cannot possess a gun, maintaining proper training, keeping documentation, being aware of federal restrictions, respecting private property, understanding use of force laws, and staying informed will ensure that you are compliant, safe, and responsible in this new legal environment. This is a monumental moment in American history. Whether you celebrate it or approach it with caution, the message is clear. Gun owners must adapt quickly, stay educated, and respect both the law and public safety. The responsibility has shifted decisively into the hands of individual owners, and how you respond will determine your safety, legality, and peace of mind in the months and years ahead. Stay alert, follow the rules, and prioritize safety. This historic Supreme Court ruling has forever altered the way firearms are regulated and owned in the United States, and now more than ever, knowledge, preparation, and responsible action are essential. Don't wait until it's too late. Review your responsibilities today and make sure you are fully prepared to navigate this unprecedented change in law and society.